Welcome to Midcard Maniacs, I'm Jay, and today I'm doing my AEW Revolution 2021 predictions. Yep. Now today I'm doing this solo because my co-host John, he just had a baby, and he's cleaning butts and stuff, whatever you do when you have a baby. I think basically not sleeping. He didn't come over this week to film, and he won't be coming over before Revolution. And I am so excited for this, so I just wanted to talk about it. So let's just jump into it with the Casino Tag Team Royale. So how this is gonna work is 2 teams will start. There's a random lottery, and every 90 seconds a new team enters. We do have 7 confirmed entrants. We have Bear Country, we have John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. We have Evil Uno and Stu Grayson of the Dark Order. We have Santana and Ortiz. We have the Butcher and Blade. We have Private Party, and we have Top Flight. So that's 7 teams currently. I would imagine that they're going to have an 8th team, which could be a shock because with all AEW pay-per-views so far, we've had something big kind of happen. And I think at Revolution, we're gonna get one of those oh shit moments. And since we wanted to see the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks for a while now, and a lot of people thought it was gonna happen at Revolution, but now it's gonna be like MJF and Jericho. So I think the Good Brothers coming in randomly to this Battle Royale, that if they enter, they win. Otherwise, I'd probably go for Private Party, but I wouldn't mind seeing Santana and Ortiz take it either, because like those guys are very much deserving of a title shot, and I hope they get one soon. Next up, we've got a weird stipulation match. It's called the Big Money match between Big Money Matt Hardy, and Hangman Page. And this all came to be because of like Hangman switching out a contract that Big Money Matt was trying to get him to sign. It basically said, hey, Hardy, I get all of your first quarter earnings, which would really be troubling for Big Money Matt, who is basically trying to screw people over by getting them to sign contracts and build his little stable. So I think it would be funny if Hangman beats Hardy, because then Hardy will scramble and try and figure stuff out. He could get even more scummy into that role, or he could go down, like he could spiral out of control and become a different Matt. There's always that option, which is fun. The only benefit I can see from Hardy beating Hangman is to kind of drive Page into like a slump to the point where he signs with Dark Order and joins their ranks. I mean, that might happen anyway, but I don't know if it's going to be as a result of this. So I think I'm going to go with Hangman Page for this. Next up, we've got Miro and Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, the former butler to the best man Miro. So there's some bad blood that's been brewing for quite some time. We saw that with Kip Sabian's wedding with Penelope Ford. We had Orange Cassidy in a cake. It was wild. It was crazy. I don't think there's going to be any weird things going on for this. Like, I think it's going to be an awesome match, but I think it'll be on the shorter side in comparison to the rest of the card. We'll probably get Penelope Ford doing a Hurricanrana on the outside to Chuck Taylor to keep him down, and then we have Miro versus Orange Cassidy, which will be fun, but I think that Miro is going to get the pin. So Miro and Kip Sabian win. Orange Cassidy is so over, and I don't know what they would do from a creative standpoint if Miro doesn't win. Potentially they could split up Miro and Kip Sabian, but I don't see that happening yet. I think that's still months down the line. So I'm just gonna go with Miro and Kip Sabian for that one. Next up, we've got the Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future TNT Championship opportunity. As of recording, there are 4 people in the match right now. It's Cody Rhodes, Max Caster, Lance Archer, Penta L0M, and Scorpio Sky. And then we do know that there's going to be one other person joining this ladder match as like a special entrant. The last ladder match we saw like this, I actually called, and I called as the winner, which was Brian Cage's debut, and he won. So this time, I'm going with Ethan Page, and I like Ethan Page. Ethan Page is really cool. I don't know what character he would play, because he has a lot of different sides to him. I loved him in the North. That's also, like, I was gonna say the North for the other, like, tag team battle royale, but I don't know what Alexander, like, what his contract's like. So if the North doesn't show up in the other match, I think Ethan Page will be the final person for this ladder match. I don't think he would win though, regardless, but maybe. I want Scorpio Sky though. Scorpio Sky is deserving of title shots. He should be in the main title picture, but I don't know what's happening. Next up, we've got the women's championship between Hikaru Shida and Ryo Mizunami. Ryo is somebody that like I remember seeing at I think Allin or All Out or one of those like really early events. Whatever the first pay-per-view that AEW put on, Ryo was a part of it, but I didn't really know who she was and I didn't really understand her character because there was like a lot of people involved that I just didn't know yet. But after seeing her in the women's tournament, it's been great. Like everybody in the women's tournament was awesome. Maki Ito obviously has like made so many more fans around the world. Mei Saruga really impressed me. I really liked her. She's got kind of like a cutesy vibe to her. And Rin Katakura, who is somebody that I hadn't seen before now, and she was fantastic as well. But Ryo, having seen her before and now, like she's got a totally different vibe to me. She seems really like way more badass. Like she's hard hitting, so it'll be interesting. I think that Shida will retain. Next, we've got the AEW World Tag Team Championship match between the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho and MJF. With Wardlow, it says. Now this is going to be an awesome match. I'm really looking forward to what goes down because I think there's going to be a mistake made that's going to put more of a divide between Chris Jericho and MJF to kind of start another feud or kind of split up the inner circle a little bit more. There's no way that they're going to become champs in my mind anyway. Maybe. I'm very open to it, like why not? But for the rest of my plan, if the Good Brothers enter the tag and they come at the Young Bucks, like I want to see that. I want the Young Bucks to retain so that I can see some of the other matches that I'd prefer, which would be Good Brothers or Private Party versus Young Bucks. But you never know because like they've got Wardlow, so shenanigans can happen. And the way that they're kind of scummy in general, I don't know, but I'd like the Young Bucks to retain. Next up, we've got the street fight between Sting and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. I'm super pumped for this match. Because this is a street fight, I think it's going to be a cinematic match because that way Sting can really shine. I mean, we did see him do some moves in the ring last week, but I can't see Sting like getting powerbombed onto a car or anything at his age. There are certain bumps that I don't think Sting could take, and I really don't know if Sting can handle his own in a street fight right now. I have no idea though. Like, he looked good last time we saw him, but I have no idea. I'd like to see Sting and Darby Allin win, but at the same time, I think Ricky Starks really needs to show up. We know Brian Cage is a beast, so he's gonna throw Darby Allin around. Sting is gonna get some retaliation, likely with a bat on Brian Cage, and that's where we have Sting and Darby Allin being able to take down somebody like Brian Cage, who's obviously just a monster. They have the advantage of it being a street fight, so they can use a skateboard and bats and stuff like that, where Brian Cage is used to just whipping people around and using his brute strength. But I do want Ricky Starks to shine at some point, because he's a guy who's going to be the future of AEW. Like, he's a future world champ for sure. He's super talented, but I don't think that he's really had the opportunity to showcase that yet. He's really great on the mic, so people know him as that, and people know him as like part of Team Taz, but I don't think they see his strengths as a wrestler per se. So I really hope that he does some like big moves that are going to impress like Twitter basically, because that seems to be where the most discourse is. So, but at the end of the day, Sting and Darby Allin will walk out victorious. And finally, we have the exploding barbed wire death match for the AEW World Championship between Kenny Omega with Don Callis and Jon Moxley. I am so pumped. This is the most excited I've been for a match in a very long time. Now, to my knowledge, an exploding barbed wire death match has not been done in North America before, in a major promotion, that is. So this is gonna be awesome. The unsanctioned match from like a year ago, or I guess more now, it's been time has been slipping by. Like, being cooped up in the house since like COVID started. It's March. I've been here since March 13th last year, and I've left my house like 7 times. It's bullshit. Time is going nuts. So I don't remember when it was, but the lights out match was amazing, or the unsanctioned match. It was great. We had like the mat getting pulled back. We had barbed wire in that as well. We had the glass table. There were a lot of like crazy moments, and this is gonna be no different. The last time I saw an exploding barbed wire death match was likely when ICP had Stranglemania, I think, back in like 98 or 99. They had basically bought like some footage of Japanese stuff, and Insane Clown Posse, they did the commentary for it, and all of them had like Terry Funk or Cactus Jack, which they called Cactus Sack, and they had exploding barbed wire death matches in that. And then before that, I think through some random tape trading, I got some like Japanese stuff that was like that, but I haven't seen any since, and I'm extremely excited. Moxley and Omega are super talented, and they will go all in on this, and I can't wait. Now, when it comes to a prediction, I think Kenny Omega is going to retain, and I feel like there's going to be shenanigans at some point during this match, probably closer to the end, if not like the very last part of this match. Because anything can happen, I can see Kenta coming out. I can see maybe some other Bullet Club members coming out for just like a final run-in on Moxley to make sure that Omega has the win. And I like Omega as the cocky heel. It's great. What do you guys think of this card? I've heard people talking about like too many stipulations. For one, I'm for it. Give me ladder matches. Give me battle royales, give me death matches. I'm all for that kind of stuff. What do you guys think? Let me know your predictions down in the comments. Like this video, and if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything Midcard Maniacs.